Hello and welcome to Jessie Bear Book Club. We like to talk about historical fiction, wild cards, Game of Thrones, and much, much more. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Today I want to talk about something that I've been wondering about for years. What will happen when Jeyne Poole and Sansa Stark come face to face in Winds of Winter? And I want to state we are talking about book Sansa, who I really, really like, and who 13-year-old me can really relate to on so many levels. I think the outcome of Jeyne and Sansa's reacquaintance will be heavily influenced by whether Sansa is still in Littlefinger's thrall. If you have seen my Littlefinger versus Puppet Man video, you know I believe Sansa will eventually break away from Littlefinger and have a large part in his destruction. But it won't be the terrible soap opera drama the show gave us. For this video, let's assume that Jon Snow is dead or at Hardhome, so he cannot identify Jeyne Poole as a fake. I think Jeyne Poole will be extremely angry at Littlefinger, but I doubt this anger will overflow too strongly towards Sansa. If Sansa chooses to keep the lie going that she is Arya, she may even spot an ally in Jeyne Poole, as Jeyne will be extremely grateful to remain Lady Arya and not Jeyne Poole, the almost whore. Jeyne was extremely happy to see Theon, so why not Sansa? Both Theon and Sansa did things to hurt Jeyne, and she seems to understand what it is like to be powerless and have no choice. Jeyne may be jealous of Sansa, as Sansa had an easier time. She may also resent Sansa's beauty, especially now that Jeyne has lost the tip of her nose to frostbite. But I think Jeyne would be able to overlook all her jealousy and anger if Sansa gave truth to the lie that she is Arya. We know Jeyne is smart enough to heed Theo's warning that Jeyne is no one, but Arya is a lady with status that people will look after and respect. I think Jeyne Poole would sell her own soul to remain Arya Stark. So she will probably side with Sansa if Sansa chooses to keep the lie going. Jeyne may even feel protective of Sansa, as Sansa, even though she has been a pawn on the chessboard for a long time, is yet to see the full horror of war. Sansa is also very sheltered and is yet to have a sexual relationship. Jeyne may feel protective of the older girl because of the own horrors Jeyne has endured. As simply one woman to another, she may wish to protect her as a real sister or as an old friend would do. And Sansa may be grateful. This brings me on to my next point. I really feel Littlefinger's feelings towards Sansa are not fatherly. He is grooming her in every sense of the word. Littlefinger already did this to Jeyne, leaving her in a brothel, and Jeyne may see this behavior where Sansa is blind to it from inexperience. I have discussed Littlefinger's relationship with Sansa with many close friends who have also read the books. Most people I talk to agree, of course, Littlefinger is using Sansa, but he views her from a fatherly standpoint, whereas I think Littlefinger is a sexual predator who has been grooming Sansa since the first book when he meets her at the Hand's tourney. Littlefinger owns a number of brothels that procure young girls like Jeyne and Sansa for older men. He obviously condones this behavior, and we can presume that he enjoys all the perks of owning a brothel. Why breed fine horses when you cannot have a fine mount yourself? And Littlefinger considers Sansa Stark, the image of her mother Catelyn Tully, his lost love, the finest mount of all. So why would he waste her on Harry the heir when he could have her for himself? I think these advances will be a great shock for Sansa, who is not expecting them and views Littlefinger as a father. These advances will probably start after Sansa marries Harry the Heir, so she will go to her wedding bed a maid. This would destroy any trust Sansa has for Littlefinger, I believe. If my sexual predator theory is not correct, Sansa might grow to distrust Littlefinger because of his murder of Sweet Robin. Or Sansa may realize that Harry the Heir is an asshole who Littlefinger has forced her to marry, knowing full well that Harry will mistreat her. These, of course, are educated guesses, but I think a rift between Sansa and Littlefinger is inevitable in Winds of Winter. She cannot stay his loving daughter forever. I think this initial mistrust of Littlefinger will be what brings Sansa and Jeyne Poole back together. But even without the mistrust of Littlefinger, I think it very likely the girls will bond. Sansa thinks many times how she would like a friend, especially when she was talking to Miranda Royce, who she seems to dislike having to lie to, and the girls have a lot in common. Both are orphans. Both of their fathers died in King's Landing. Both were married against their will, though Tyrion was much better than Ramsay. Both are scared and looking for a male figure to protect them. Both were manipulated and used by Littlefinger. Both are scared of Littlefinger. And never underestimate the bond of shared childhood and friendship. Look at Ned and Robert. Maybe I just want a girl power moment too badly, but I do think something will come of all the links between these two young female characters. But what do you think? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. And as always, this is just my opinion. Please remember to help out and like this video if you enjoyed it. You can also follow me on Instagram at Lady Jessica Riddell and on Twitter at Jessams. I post on Twitter regularly about my videos. If you want to see more book reviews, character comparisons, and fan theories, please subscribe to Jessie Bear Book Club. I try to post a new video at least once a week. See you next time on Jessie Bear Book Club. Bye!